So I am coming at you with another throughout the years video, and this year it is year R, and if you like live in another country and you don't know what year R is, it basically stands for reception, because all the classrooms seem to be near reception, but there's probably another reason why, I don't know. This is basically the first year of school in England, so this was quite a tough year for me. So I remember I had a teacher called Mrs. Marshall. From year R to year 4 we would have a teacher that would teach us everything. We'd have one teacher for every subject, but from then on it would be a different teacher from a different subject. But Mrs. Marshall, she was absolutely lovely. She was like one of my favourite teachers. She was like so kind, very, very patient woman. It was one of my toughest starts of years because I was very attached to my mum. I would always cry. My mum would like say, "Oh, you can go to school now." I'd always cry. My mum would cry because we were so used to being together a lot. But I remember a couple of weeks into me just starting the school, I was handed over, like my mum was holding me, and then I physically would not let go of my mum. I was crying a lot for like the first couple of weeks, but anyway, I physically wouldn't let go of my mum, and she handed me over to one of the assistants. She was called Mrs. Ogilvie. She was also lovely, and I remember Mrs. Marshall sitting me down, and like there was a computer. They were like the really thick computers that were this wide. I mean, they weren't the thin ones that were like flat screen. They were the whole big computers, big chunky ones. And I remember she let me play a game, and it was where there was these penguins, and they were in bubbles, and the little mouse thing was a little magic wand, and you had to click on the bubble, and it would drop and go up into this little like tower, like castle tower, and that always cheered me up whenever I was like really sad. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I also remember meeting my first proper best friend. Her name was Alice. We were best friends from year R to year 3, but then she moved school. We're still like best friends, but we just don't see each other very much. I haven't seen her, well, last time I saw her was last summer, but the time before that, it was like 3 years before that. I hadn't seen her in 3 years. So I don't see her very much. And I also had a best friend who sticked with me. Like, me and him were best friends for quite a while. We used to line up for school and in the playground, and he would always like kiss me. I felt really awkward, but he would always kiss me in line, like not on the lips, or like once it was on the lips, but I was like, "Adam, stop it!" And like, obviously he didn't understand then. If it was now, I think I could like charge him for sexual abuse or something. But then obviously you don't understand, you're only little, so you would just act like the way you're around your mum, like you kiss your mum, you kiss your best friend or something. But yeah, that was embarrassing. I also remember that my school nurse, she knew my name very well. I fell over a lot. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you know when some people are like, "I literally just died." No, this was literal. I fell over every day. We always used to play this thing called Kiss Chase. You know you're a 90s kid when you play Kiss Chase there. Let's just say that. If you don't know what it is, it's boys versus girls. Either girls, if they are it's not like one person's it, everyone, all of the girls are it. They'd have to run and chase after a boy and kiss them on the cheek or lips or anywhere. It was pretty violent game for a year R, for a 4-year-old. But obviously then, if we were playing Kiss Chase now, that would be a little bit awkward. I don't think anyone would want to play apart from like the sluts and that. But it was a fun game, not gonna lie. Oh, and I remember there was this little playhouse, and there was like, it was like a wooden playhouse. It wasn't very big, and it had 2 windows either side, and then a doorway in front, and then little like benches attached to the wall. It's still there because I live near the school, so I can see. And there was like a little hole in the wood, and there would always be a limit of the amount of people that could be in that playground, that house thing. So some people had to be chucked out, but I never got chucked out. I was the spy, okay? This little hole in the wall I would always look out of, and I don't know, I was the spy. Pretty random thought. We had a show and tell day, and you had to bring in a pet. I didn't have a pet, so I brought in my teddy bear, which was actually a rabbit. It was called Cuddle Bunny, after, if you ever watched the Rugrats, they had a piñata called Cuddle Bunny, and I called my bunny rabbit after it. And it's a very special bunny rabbit, because in its eye it has a little air bubble, and that makes it special. And also, I remember falling down the stairs with it, and its ears normally flop, but when I was little I put his bandages over its ears and its head so they were sticking up, because I was a nurse. But anyways, as I was saying, show and tell. My best friend Shelby, she had a tortoise called Buzz. Little did we know that Buzz turns out to be a girl, like a couple years later. No, they weren't sure if it was a boy or a girl, so they called it Buzz, and that's called Buzzalina. And they're pretty amazing name. It's still alive after like 11 years. So, you know. Oh my god, we would get like assigned books that we'd have to read. We didn't get to pick the books, but we get given them for homework that we had to read, and like there was different colour schemes like beige, white, yellow, blue, green, and I think beige was like the highest you could get. It was like level 10 or something. I was like, the lowest level was only picture books, and the highest level it was like Jacqueline Wilson books, that kind of level. I was very low. I think I was yellow or white. I think I was white. That was level 2, because beige was level 0 and then white was level 1. Anyway, level 2, we used to have these books called the Magic Keys books, and they were all about this dog, and it had like a necklace and it had a key, and like I can't really remember it very well, but there was Chip, Biff and someone else, like this was their dog, and whenever they like touched the key or something, the dog would speak or something, and they went up to all these adventures, and I used to love reading them. They were my favourite, and literally everyone in my school absolutely loved those books. Like, if you didn't like those books in my school, you just nobody hated those books. They were amazing. Oh my god. We used to get our picture taken every year, from year R to year 6. Now in like we only get our picture taken like in year 7, year 9, and year 11. So I'm getting my picture taken in a couple of months. So I need to do myself up for like some makeup. That's like the only day where I'm going to wear like heavy makeup on. Anyway, as I was saying, we had this photographer. It was the same photographer from like year R to year 6. I think, yes, it's 6. And my nickname was Goldilocks. As you can see, Goldilocks. I actually played Goldilocks in our little school play, which is fun. I can't really remember my lines, although it wasn't very much, although that's like the only play where I got the main part, because I hate acting. Like, I ain't very good at that shit. That's why I didn't take drama for GCSE. Anyway, his nickname for me was Goldilocks, and I remember Adam, like what I was talking about, my previous like best friend that used to kiss me a line. His was Harry Potter, because he always wore glasses, and he had the same hair, He always had a nickname for everyone. So mine was Goldilocks, his was Harry Potter. Some guys, I can't remember. I can only remember those two. I think one of my friends was like Four Eyes or something because she wore glasses. Or, I can't remember. And lastly, probably the best memory of the year. I peed myself in the playground. I mean, one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, or then it wasn't really, but now, if it was now, I would have cringed so hard, but now I laugh at it because, oh my god, it was so funny. Basically, at the end of break, they would ring the bell and you'd have to stay completely still. I was on my way to the toilets. The frickin' bell rang, and I was desperate, so I was just like, can't hold it, can't hold it. What did I do? I peed myself in the middle of the playground. It trickled down my leg and like had a massive puddle around me. Then my teacher came up to me and she was like, "Did you do this?" And I was like, "No." Even though I was standing all around it. Oh my god. And she had to guide everyone around it. I was there just like completely like oblivious of what was happening. I was just like, I need the toilet, so I'm going to go now. So I don't really care then. But I never got told off. I can just remember the horrible feeling of my knickers being soaked completely and I had to spend the rest of the day in them. That was horrible. So yeah, that was my year throughout the days. Throughout the years, not days. Hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next vlog or tutorial if you're subscribed to my main channel, which is, holy shit, I thought I saw a bug. I didn't. Which is MC Ice Cream. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to this or MC Ice Cream, go subscribe, otherwise I get my army of frogs on you. I'm kidding, of course. You don't have to either, but I'll get my army of frogs on you anyway. No, I won't, because I don't have an army of frogs. That sucks. Anyway, bye.